Sour cream cookies. This is our mise en place. First thing we do is we are going to take some unbleached flour, get the best flour that you can, will give you the best results, and we're just going to sift the flour. You can see there's little like parts that want to stay together, and that's what we're using the sifter for, to get all those broken up clumps. Next we're going to put in some baking powder. It's a butter cookie recipe, so we're also going to use a little bit of baking soda. All the ingredients will be listed below. Less baking soda than baking powder, and then even less amount of salt. That's just regular table salt. Go ahead and sift this. Some of that will want to cake together, and you just kind of use your fingers or the back end of a spoon to pass it all through. Okay, so now we have our flour, baking powder, salt, baking soda, and we're just gonna whisk it up a little bit, maybe about 30 seconds, just to make sure it's all mixed, and that's it. Really important, we want to use room temperature dairy. That was a picture of a room temperature piece of butter, whole stick. Next, we're going to add about a cup of sugar. This is some really good sugar here that we're using. We're going to add the sugar to the butter. We're going to put our attachment, which is a paddle, and we are going to what's called cream the butter. Basically what we're doing is we're just incorporating air in between the butter and the sugar molecules, and it will basically make it nice and smooth. This is kind of what you would do when you're making custards as well. So as you can see, it's getting a lot more incorporated there. The butter is getting married to the sugar, and just continue till it starts to look like sugar cookie dough already. We turn that speed up a little bit higher. We're going to get ready to add our eggs. Again, room temperature dairy is very key to a good cookie. We're going to add one egg, whole egg. Make sure that you don't get any shell in there if possible. You can always break it up into a separate container like I'm doing here with the egg yolk. The reason why we want the egg yolk and a whole egg, the whole egg has very good properties. You know, you're getting all of the white, and the egg yolk is just extra really good source of fat, just for like a really, really rich cookie. Now, the next thing that we're going to add before anything else is the vanilla. I feel like it's important to add the vanilla in this step just so all of these flavors can really, really come together and get out what we want in the end result, which is a great tasting end product. So as we have everything mixing in there, we're going to add the flour little by little. I like to do maybe about 3 heaping spoonfuls at a time, just so that you don't, if you do it all at once, it's just going to give you a very dense consistency. This ensures like a really, really light and good textured end result. So as you could see, the moisture is just kind of taking up what is not moist, which is the flour. So that's why we want to add it in parts. Next, as you can see, I put in the sour cream. This we're going to do about halfway through adding all of the flour. And when you add the sour cream, you can go ahead and kind of clean up your paddle to the best of your ability with the spatula. Now we're putting the sour cream in there. I like to put the sour cream in the middle just so that it doesn't, dissipate in the beginning and doesn't just make it too wet at the end. Because now we're going to add the rest of our dry ingredients. And again, that dry ingredient mixture is a little bit of salt, some baking powder, baking soda, and flour. And it's all been mixed together, so we're getting a really nice even distribution right there. Pretty much everything is all in, and you can see it's starting to form a dough, which that is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, next we're getting ready to put it on the to store it. We want all these flavors to kind of have a chance to come together and be very, very well incorporated before they bake. So what we'll do, I'll transfer it out onto a piece of wax paper, and what we're going to do is we're just going to shape it a little bit. We're going to put it in the freezer. You could be pretty liberal with the amount of pressure you put on here just so that we get a nice shape. I like to kind of form a block, and then it makes it easier to cut into cookies. I like to bake them at about 40 grams per cookie at a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven. Next, we are going to, for about 10 to 12 minutes. Depends, could take about 15 minutes, depends on your oven. Then we're going to wrap it in a little bit of plastic here just to ensure that it's fresh. and sealed so we don't get any freezer burn. And that's pretty much it. All the instructions will be left for you in the end for baking, and then we put it in the freezer, and there we go.